Oh, you know who's coming up right now?
Who?
The best talker in sports.
I thought that was you.
We are going to know, but who's actually an athlete, not just a smack
James
talker.
Toney's there coming on?
Chael Sonnen.
Oh, yeah, he's good, too. But he ain't no
Chael
James Toney.
Sonnen's coming. And by the way, I want to make him a correspondent on the show. Like, I want to check in with him on a variety of topics. That guy's hilarious. He's coming up in the... Listen, John Jones fight canceled against Dan Henderson. Dana White said, hey, we want to keep you in with a substitute opponent. Chael Sonnen stepped up and said, I'll fight him. John Jones says no. There's no show. Dana's mad. Get Chael's point of view, 710 ESPN.
Max and Marcellus, now.
And we welcome on the show, very soon, best talker in sports. Better than Charles Barkley.
No.
Better than Floyd Mayweather.
No way.
As a talker.
No,
Yeah.
I don't believe it. And I've heard Chael. What about James? Well, Tony's not around much anymore, but when he was active,
You know what?
My goodness.
Tony's a little difficult to understand nowadays, to tell you
That's
the
true.
truth.
Yeah, that's true.
Best
Best talker in sports?
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen? I know he's
Yeah,
good.
if
He's
James
up there.
Toney was younger and easier to understand,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it is to be James Toney. Listen, the fighters are always going to be the best talkers.
Yeah. The ones who know how to
like
talk.
when Muhammad Ali was young, you think there was a better talker in sports than Muhammad Ali?
Oh, no, not in the history of sports.
How
Are
about
you kidding me?
How about Hector Camacho when he was a young guy? Was there a better trash talker in sports?
Yeah, but he could never back it up like Ali could. You know? I mean, he was
Right,
good.
I'm talking about, but by the way, Chael can't back it up either. He's just a great talker.
He did tap out his last fight.
Oh man, I love this guy. I really want Chael. Last time we had him on the show, I asked him about his political career because he was a state senator from somewhere, wherever the hell he's from, and and he said his career ended as any politician should. I said, how? He said, in handcuffs and disgrace. Wow. I mean, this guy. He claimed that he didn't know that if you tapped out, it meant the fight was over. He thought it just meant the round was over. Yeah. Chael is not only the best talker in sports, but I think he has the best sense of humor. And it's amazing how he's on the line. And it's amazing how few people get it. Here he is on the Morongo Casino Resort Hotline, the best talker in sports. Chael Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen. Chael.
Gentlemen, I apologize for my tardiness.
Yes. Why? Why were you late? How dare you be late to this show?
Well, I was out doing what I do, Kellerman, but I'm here now. More importantly, class is in session. What should I teach you today, Matt?
Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. In the first place, you step up to challenge John Jones. What did Dana White think of your stepping up to challenge John Jones to try to salvage the card?
I think Dana just knew he called the right guy. It's just a matter of that. And it was a situation where we could help each other.
Dana called you. You didn't volunteer?
No, I didn't know about it. I had no idea. Dan Henderson is a personal friend, very close, and he did not say a word to me. I think he tried to guide. I learned about this when everyone else did. And when, as a matter of fact, Dana called up and he said, "Hey, you want to fight next Saturday?" And my very first word to him was, "Who?" I couldn't think of what do you need me for? You got this full card, you got Jones and Henderson. It just never crossed my mind. And, so no, I didn't know. And he said, John Jones. And I said, I'm your guy.
Why were you so eager to take that fight?
Well, you have to. These opportunities come around very, very seldomly. And, I don't care who the guy is. I never have gotten into that. I hear all this crazy talk and game plans and watching footage and all this crap. These guys sit around with their coaches, with their gold teeth and their 8th grade education, talking about fighting. I don't even know what it means, man. You want to fight me? I want to fight you. Well, great. Let's find a venue and get it on.
Gold teeth and 8th grade educations. Wait, who has the gold? Who has the gold teeth in the 8th grade education?
Well, what I'm saying is these trainers, these fight experts that know all about that, they got to come up with their game plans and talk about the guy's footwork and study his right hand and all. That's a bunch of crap. You want to fight? Let's fight. That's not how real life works. You don't have time to prepare and plan. And, the bottom line is, it's a world title fight. I'm in this to be world champion. I had an opportunity 5 weeks ago and I fell down. And
by the way, I want to talk about the fight with Anderson Silva, the rematch, for a second, Chael. I got to tell you, as a fight observer, it appeared to me that you, in fact, and I was shocked by this, lacked confidence. I thought you went in with a kind of like I'm going to give it my best shot early, and when that didn't work, I thought you folded. What happened?
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know that you're right, but I certainly don't know that you're wrong. Weird things happen in there. I never felt like that. What you said kind of surprised me, but that doesn't mean you're not right. The weird things happen, and at times you got to recompose yourself. And there was a moment when I went down, he threw a knee, and I thought it was going to be stopped. I thought the ref was going to step in, and I paused. And that's my biggest regret of anything was that pause. I felt sorry for myself for a moment. Thought the ref would step in. I didn't recompose. The time that you're talking about, or even that I'm talking about, is 1 second.
Right.
We're talking about 1 second.
Right. But it seemed to me that
I think 1 second's a long time. Has never been in a fist fight.
But right, right, and that's why it's so exhausting. If you ever have even a fight in the schoolyard, man, it's exhausting. But what I mean is that you come out in the first round and you're giving it your best shot, and I felt as though, and I was wondering this heading into the fight, you had so much riding on the outcome of this fight because of the circumstances in the first fight, and you're winning, and et cetera, and here is your shot, and you're going to have to live with it for every day. And I felt like maybe that pressure of like the what if, like I have to win, got to you after that first initial kind of rush didn't end the fight. And you were like, I don't know, is there anything to that? What was your mindset?
Max, I'd love to tell you you're wrong, but I just don't know that you are. It's something that we have to deal with and we have to overcome. He's in the same spot as I am. I've never looked at it and assessed it the way that you just did, but I don't know that you're wrong. There is a lot of emotions that go in there. So if you're saying you thought that I had one, I don't know. I think from a physical standpoint, my biggest regret is, I fell down and I just never got up. I had an opportunity to, and I paused, and that was it.
So now with the John Jones situation, and Michael Thompson, I know you want to jump in here in a second, but now with the John Jones situation, I love your attitude. Fight fans love your attitude of, hey, let's fight, let's stop talking, let's just fight. As much as you talk, you're like, let's just mix it up. But then again, here's John Jones, a big guy who's super athletic, who is, he along with Silva, considered the two best fighters in the sport. You're coming off a loss. Wouldn't it make more sense to position yourself a little bit better than just jumping into a fight with John Jones where you'd be a big underdog?
Well, I think you're asking me, about what would be more ideal. And, yeah, we could play that game all day. Yeah, but that's what stops people is the starting. That's when people go on diets and exercise routines. They just never start on that. That is what stops. So look, I don't care about those things, man. I don't care about an ideal situation. I don't care about moving up in weight or losing. I come from a wrestling background. I used to take on 5 and 6 guys in one day, and oftentimes I'd lose, but I still got to come back an hour later and take on somebody else. So. I think from a boxing standpoint, yeah, it's a little bit different. But from a wrestler's mentality, you take on anybody at any time. I lost 8 straight matches one time, and my 9th match was against a world champion, and I beat him, coming off of 8 losses. But it's just the way it goes. I'm talking in wrestling, way back many years ago. But that's the way it goes. You gotta roll with it.
I imagine though
I don't sit around and feel sorry for myself ever.
Chael, I imagine the UFC is different. Like to me, the UFC is really scary because in an amateur wrestling situation, a guy gets you, he wins, whatever. You ain't going to be knocked out. You're not going to have your arms hyperextended and joints broken. You're not going to get your air choked out. You're not going to be humiliated in the same way. The UFC is not, college amateur wrestling. It is the closest thing you can have to a street fight.
Yeah, you're right. And in wrestling, there's anxiety and things you have to deal with when a guy's trying to score points on you. Guy's not trying to score points on you in the octagon. He's trying to hurt you. He's trying to do damage to you. And you're right, it is different, and it's not for everyone. And surprisingly, it's apparently not for John Jones, at least not next Saturday.
So when are we going to see you back in the octagon, for sure?
I've got a contract, or rather an agreement to fight a gentleman named Forrest Griffin on December 29th. But I don't know. John Jones has a date on September 22nd, and right now he's fighting Vitor Belfort. Vitor never shows up. Vitor's pulled out of way more fights than he's ever shown up for. So if I had to guess, you'll be seeing me fight John Jones on September 22nd.
What's the money difference for your end between a John Jones fight and a Forrest Griffin fight? How much more do you make for fighting John Jones? As a percentage, if you don't want to give me a number.
In our business, the opponent won't matter as much as your placement on the card.
Mm-hmm.
A main event that carries a card in our industry, the event will actually be named after you. Whoever headlines the show, that's the name of the event, them versus their opponent. And that does carry a significant difference. But
significant 100% difference, a 200% difference? What's the, like, give me a sense of it.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Okay.
It's a big difference. There's a lot of factors, and I'm not sidestepping your question. In our industry, you can talk about money. It's not like most things. It's not a big deal because the commission posts it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of factors that go into play. But maybe even a 10 or 20 or 30%. It's tremendously different. I said that wrong. 300.
Right. I understand. Like 3 or 4 times as much, not just twice as much. Why do you think John Jones didn't accept you as a challenge to keep the card going? It's the first time in UFC history that Dana has had to cancel a card.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear what their side said. It was just mind-boggling. For me, because it's never happened. He was within his rights to do it. Let's not forget, Jones had an agreement. And he was ready to honor his side of the agreement. But the agreement changed. And so the new deal he was presented with, he didn't agree to. That was still a surprise, though. That's just simply never happened, especially when you're the champion. This whole short notice routine, that doesn't apply to a guy that's coming off of a 10-week training camp. The short notice routine is for the guy that was sitting at home or had no idea there was a fight coming up. The change in opponent doesn't count. It's the change in the fight. If you don't know there's a fight, then they notice. It didn't make sense. Nothing added up. But he pulled out.
Lance Armstrong.
He doesn't need to be scared of anybody.
Lance Armstrong, doping? Yes or no?
Oh, clearly. Come on.
Yeah.
Of course.
Usain Bolt?
No, clean.
LeBron James?
LeBron, you don't bring up LeBron's name. That's not fair.
I'll tell you, though, it wasn't Bolt. It was his teammate. It was his teammate that was the surprise that he passed. The gentleman that came in second who beat him a couple times back in Jamaica.
Johan Blake.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me. But, I don't want to start that whole thing pointing fingers.
Max does it all every day.
Surprise.
I love pointing fingers. They say that you don't point a finger because 3 point back at you, Chael, but I splay my hand so that my fingers miss me and they scattershot people behind me. So I have no problem pointing finger.
Good move.
I like it. I thought you'd appreciate it. Heat or the Lakers in the NBA Finals?
Oh, geez. Are we at the finals?
Who's gonna knock them off? Right. Let's assume they make the finals. In other words, who's going to win? Heat or Lakers?
I got to tell you, brother. I got to tell you, and no offense to Michael, please don't. I've never seen a basketball game in my life.
Wow. How did you avoid it?
My uncle won 2 NBA championships.
Yeah.
And it drives him crazy. He was on the Olympic gold medal team in '64 in Tokyo, and it drives him nuts. But I've never seen a game. I didn't even know we were in basketball season until you just said it.
No, we're not. We're not yet.
Still
that's
6 weeks
amazing.
away.
I'm that way about a bunch of things. Like someone will mention an Olympic athlete to me. I don't know, women's track and field. I don't know. I haven't heard of it. I don't follow.
All right, let's ask Chael this.
Now, see, I don't watch professional. I've never seen a football game. I've never seen none of them. But I could tell you everything about the Olympics. Every 4 years, I become the biggest sports fan there is.
How do you avoid football and basketball on TV on a professional? How do you even avoid it?
I never have ever as a kid. If my friends were having social gatherings in college, I just want to go. I can't stomach it. I can't stand it. It drives me bonkers. I think it's a jealousy issue, especially with football. I watch these big, fat, lazy guys that don't do anything. They run around in pads for 10 minutes a day and make millions of dollars. I think it's just a jealousy thing. But
I know what you mean about that. I know what you mean about that. If you're not that interested or you can't do something and other people in the whole world is on it, it's like, yeah, I know. I don't want to deal with it.
Let me ask Chael, since May they're going to fight Pacquiao Mayweather, who you got?
If they fight, I like Mayweather in that. You got a clean fighter against a dirty fighter. I like Mayweather anyway.
Who's dirty? Who's the dirty fighter? Mayweather?
No. Let's leave it at that. No, but let me get off the topic. Manny's big deal is to play this little game of chicken out to the end and sue anybody that outs him. In fact, he's doing that with Mayweather now. But somebody needs to explain to him, hey man, it's okay to lie to a commission and the media, but you can't lie in America under oath and deposition. That would get you some jail time. You might want to talk to a better attorney.
Is that why Lance Armstrong doesn't take this further, because he could perjure himself or put other people in positions where they may have to face that choice?
I don't know that total situation, but he's making the right choice. Just get out of it. What's the end game here?
Yeah.
He's got a perfectly good argument, which is, look, I took hundreds of tests and I passed them. That's it. If I was dirty, it was up to you to catch me, and you didn't. And that's the bottom line.
All right, Chael, this is I could talk to you. I could talk to you all day, but just last thought. Any parting thoughts about John Jones, his turning down the challenge, the fact that you think you may wind up fighting him later this year anyway? Any parting thoughts you'd like to leave with people?
I really, listen, if I was to tell John Jones something, I'd tell him I got good news and I got bad news. Good news, John, the first punch I throw at you might not land, but the bad news is there can be 5 more coming right behind it.
Volume punching. You see that, Michael Thompson?
I like it.
Joe Frazier style.
Yeah.
The great Chael Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen. Chael, we have to figure out the role for you on this show somehow, or at least check in with you periodically on various issues.
I really do enjoy talking to you, and I usually don't tell media that. I prefer to lambaste them.
Yes.
By the way, will you nudge Michael? Will you wake him up? I think he's fallen asleep.
No, he's eating a peanut butter sandwich.
Michael,
I'm listening.
Are you still with us? Do you have something the kids call stuff?
I'm trying to figure out a way to get you to a Laker game.
Yeah.
See, that's very nice. I roughed you up, and now you invite me to it. That was nice.
This is what he does. This is what Thompson does. He's so nice. He thinks no one cheats. He only sees the
That's
best
right.
in everyone.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
Yeah.
He lives in the 1950s still, and father knows best. All right.
Yeah. No, well, and good for him.
That's right.
That's good. That's good for him.
That's right. That's the world Chael Sonnen would like to see again, right? You're
That's
a
right.
very conservative
Spend
state.
time defending me. If anyone asks you about Chael Sonnen, you tell them that guy's got a higher juice concentrate than Tropicana.
The great Chael Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Chael.
See you, fellas.
On the Morongo Casino Resort Hotline.
Doesn't even watch the Super Bowl.
He's just an interesting guy.
It's not un-American. It's not against the law.
He is just an interesting guy. I think he's my favorite athlete to talk to.
Yeah, he's very eclectic, eccentric.
Yeah. Max Marcellus, Michael Thompson, 710 ESPN.
Max and Marcellus. Now.